Bring it up, up. Bring it back, bring it back, bring it. Bring it back, bring it up, up. Bring it back, bring it back, bring it. Bring it back, bring it up, up.
Hello, friends, and a happy Friday evening from Bowling Green, Kentucky. Benjamin Ray, Mike Ezekiel, Brian Neese coming to you live from the North Alabama Football Hotel, where we are having a football Friday night frenzy, getting set for Week 1, the 77th season of North Alabama football. It kicks off tomorrow night, 6 p.m., Hodgson-Smith Stadium on the campus of Western Kentucky University. The Lions venture into Conference USA territory, trying to conquer the hill of the Hilltoppers. We're excited to be back with you for another season of UNA football. We're going to try to do this preview show every Friday night. Shout out to Braden. Shout out to Grant for getting it up and running on the back end, the lovely graphics that you see. Brian, we've come a long way since you and I did this 2 years ago, sitting in the same hotel room on two different phones, having to mute our phones as we went back and forth talking some UNA football.
I'm so thankful for people who you can't see right now who are a lot smarter than me that know what they're doing. So thank you to you guys. Y'all are awesome.
We thought we were being innovative and ahead of the times then, and look at us now.
Weren't you guys on Spaces at one point?
Yeah,
Twitter Spaces.
Yes.
We started out doing this as a Twitter Spaces on the road. Were we? Where were we?
I think the
it was
first one
it was
was
Montgomery.
Montgomery,
it was the FCS kickoff.
Yeah.
And we just sat there and we just talked, and I think a couple hundred people tuned in listening. But Brian and I were in the same hotel room, and our phones were feeding back.
They were
'Cause we
echoing.
didn't know how to do all this setup yet, and we were just on our phones doing it. And so I would say something and mute it, then Brian would say something and mute it. And so there'd be a little bit of a delay as we were doing it. Now, look, we got graphics, we got cameras, we got monitors. It's pretty spectacular.
The dark ages is what you're talking about.
You got the ticker at the bottom, too.
A live ticker at the bottom. So this is great as we venture to this digital world of streaming. So football opens up tomorrow night, 6 p.m., 77th season of UNA football. We're going to jump in, talk some UNA offense, defense, special teams. We're hoping some coaches will pop by as well. We always keep an open invitation. They're in team meetings right now, gearing up for this first season. So they're always gracious enough to give us some time, but they're definitely busy during this as well. So we're thrilled to be with you. And, guys, let's talk some UNA football. 77th season, third year under UNA head coach Brent Dearman. And, Mike, let's start with this. It kind of begins for this program with some new coaches on this staff. Coach Dearman's brought in not just some great experience, but just some phenomenal human beings.
That's right. This staff has just been incredible to work with, and sometimes it can be really hard to go from, having a cohesive staff the last year and then guys move on and you bring in a whole new staff and just try to build that cohesion again. But Coach Dearman, I think he did that in two ways. He found guys from his hometown of Mobile that had connections and people that have been at UNA. Ben, I think you found this stat. This will be the first time that UNA's had two assistant coaches that are both in the UNA Athletics Hall of Fame. Steve Carter went in 2010, Michael Johnson in 2021. Both of those guys on opposite sides of the ball, too, and that's really interesting. And then just seeing some other guys like Ben Thomas, a guy from my era back in like 2012 to 2015, and just the camaraderie of this group. They all love UNA. They love each other, and that's really good to see.
It's pretty fascinating. I got to talking with Jeff Hodges about this, and you've got Mike Johnson and Steve Carter in the Athletic Hall of Fame. And then there's been other former players turned Hall of Famers. And Cody Gross was a Hall of Famer when he coached. Blake Ferris was on that staff with him, but Coach Ferris was not in the Hall of Fame yet. So those two were never in the Hall of Fame while being coaches at the same time. And then you've got Bill Hyde, Bobby Wallace, Willie Slater. They were all in the Hall of Fame. And, of course, Bobby was in the Hall of Fame during all of that with Coach Ferris, with Coach Gross. But when we're talking assistants, and it's great to see former assistants coming back that just love UNA. And hopefully Big Mike joins us on a couple of these because he's just an all-time great storyteller. I want to circle back to Jeff Hodges for just a second, and this is pretty cool. This is my 17th year covering UNA football. I started as a student in 2007, last 11 years working with the department, last 9 as the voice of the Lions. Brian's been doing broadcasting with UNA for 11 years, started back in 2015. Feels like just yesterday you and I were doing that 2017 game. Mike's been covering UNA for 8 years, starting back in 2012, now back 3 years as our lead SID dog. I'm going to call you a dog. Mike's a dog.
A dog.
And so
take it.
you do the math there. That's 36 years of combined experience covering UNA, and I'd be willing to bet that's more than most schools out there. And then you consider the fact that we still don't have as many years as Jeff, who did this for 40 years plus. He's retired. He still helps us out a bit. It's pretty wild to consider.
And reality check, next year we won't even have as many years because that's 3 more, and that's 1 away from Jeff. He had 40 years, 36, and next year, we're all in this chair that's 39, still not beating Jeff. And Jeff only missed 3 games over those 40 years, and that's even more impressive to me.
Crazy. Brian, you haven't missed a game over your, 11 years?
I have not, but I could go for 35 years and not miss a game and not even equal what Jeff Hodges did. I mean, legendary. He was so helpful to me. Was a great help in everything, and I just appreciate being around him.
You're the Iron Man of our crew because you haven't missed a game in 11 years. I missed a couple of road games those first couple of years when we had basketball crossover, and they wouldn't let me travel at that time. When there was home basketball,
Yeah.
I had to stay back, and you slid over and did the games. So that was back in 2018. I don't think I've missed a game since then, but I got a long way to go if I'm going to catch you, partner.
Well, I'm just fortunate to be around this program and these people. It's a wonderful group that we have here. That we enjoy traveling together. We kid and we cut up. We just have fun, and I enjoy it. I've been looking forward to I won't say today as much as tomorrow, but today is our travel day, and it's always fun. So I've been looking forward to that too.
We're going to talk UNA football, but we like to take you all behind the scenes as well. And we talk about that a lot, how much we enjoy traveling together. And we've expanded our crew. We've got Drew Barton with us. We got Davis Farlow. They're the creative guys. We've got Braden Rogers. Grant Wakefield's up here. They're helping us out with broadcast stuff. Grant will be on the sidelines with us tomorrow. Braden's helping us launch this new streaming network that we're taking on. And so all of a sudden, like, we're pretty young staff, right? And so I was cracked up. We picked Brian up in Columbia, Tennessee. So for the first hour and a half, it's Mike and I. We traveled up here in the women's golf van, which is just this loaded down Mercedes-Benz. It is awesome. And the boys in the back, as we like to say, the youngsters, they've got the video games up on the TVs. They're playing. And if that didn't drive home the fact that we're the old people sitting
no
up front
doubt.
while the kids are in the back playing video games, I don't know what. And I've been cracked up by that all day. But we've had fun. We stopped in Nashville, ate at Jackson Brown's Burgers.
Good too. That's really good.
It was a great stop. It is one of Drew Barton's staples. Drew says he doesn't get a say in much on the road, but we always seem to eat at Drew's spot. So we ate at one of his dinner spots tonight. So we love the time of fellowship. We went by the Corvette Museum.
Yeah.
We didn't actually have time to do the tour, but Grant and Davis raced, and Grant beat him by one spot. So
Leadfoot Grant.
Leadfoot Grant. We don't know if he'll be able to drive the actual van with that lead foot. Not that I certainly don't have a lead
You
foot.
do not. No, not at all.
So we try to have fun on these trips, but that's one of the best things. It's the fellowship, and people always ask you about the games, but a lot of times it's the memories on the road.
It is. It is. I've got great memories with you guys on the road. Fun stories, some that we can share, some that we can't.
That's right.
But good stuff. Really good stuff.
All right, I
was just going to say, you just got to love the people you travel with, and that's what makes it fun. And like you said, the stories seem to come from the car more so than the field. And we enjoy what we do, but being together and in those moments in between are special.
So the 77th season, just some quick other nerd notes that we kind of did some research on this week. This is the 33rd time the Lions have opened on the road. 11 times in Alabama, 8 in Tennessee, 3 in Louisiana, 2 in Georgia, once in Mississippi, Arkansas, Indiana, Kansas, Missouri, Utah, and Virginia. So this is the 12th different state that we've opened up in, the first time in Kentucky. We're hoping to get lucky in Kentucky. How many times will we say that on air tomorrow? We'll keep a little running tally. This is the 36th different team that we will play in the opener. And you guys can now see my screen, so I was going to do a little trivia to see if you guys could get. So you can't see.
We won't look.
We're not looking.
Do you two have a guess as to the most frequent opener in UNA football history? 35 different teams. The leader, the clubhouse leader, has 8.
Okay, I have a good guess, and I think –
And you didn't see my screen.
I did not.
And I did send you this, so you didn't really look it over, right?
I did not look, I promise.
Disclaimer.
Didn't do his homework is what I heard.
But I have sent you – well, hold on. Now last year let's clear that up.
Pump the brakes right there, Brad.
Hey, I'm lucky in Kentucky, and you guys are lucky too. Because
Not so fast, my friend.
That's good.
Yes, there you go. There you go.
Ben, I happened to send you a stat last year about our most frequent opponents because UT Martin was in the top 10, and we played them the last 2 seasons. One of those, and I think if it's a season opener, it's usually not a conference opponent. I think we can all agree on that. So if you're going all the way back, I'm thinking a team that's not always been in our conference. My first guess would probably be Jacksonville State
Turning my monitor.
or maybe a Middle Tennessee State, one of those two, like a regional.
Okay. Brian?
Gosh, I'm sitting here trying to think, and what you're saying makes a lot of sense. I don't know. Miles, I know we've had them a time or two. I don't know. That's a good question right there.
So you guys just nailed the top 3.
Oh, really?
Wow, even with my 2 guesses.
Tied for second, we have Middle Tennessee State with 6. That was a really good guess, Mike. Tied for second, we have Jacksonville State. Most recently back in, 2016. The infamous Jacob Tucker game where everybody on Jacksonville State was lined up to shake Jacob Tucker's hand.
Wow,
Because
yes.
everybody wants to shake Jacob Tucker's hand. Side note, Tarleton State just walked it off against Army on a long field goal in the second overtime. Tarleton 2-0 to start the year. That's a big FCS, FBS win for our UAC friends over there in Stevensville, right?
Stevensville, yeah.
Yep. So,
Stephenville.
so you've got Middle Tennessee and Jacksonville State tied with 6. Tennessee Tech also 6 times.
Oh, okay.
The number 1 team that we have faced to open up a season, Miles
Miles.
College. And
Nailed it.
Brian, that was your first game in the booth back in
Very
2015.
Very first game in Birmingham at whatever
Legion
stadium,
Field?
Legion Field. Yeah, that was my very first game.
Are you impressed? I had the callback on that. I remember
Yes,
your first
I
game.
do remember.
It
I'm
just
impressed.
came to me.
Let me see if I have the callback. Is this the one that went into the 2-point conversion for the win, or was that earlier?
No,
No,
this
That
was
might
not
have been the
that game.
2012,
We were really good
13.
in 2015.
Yeah.
That was a 2012. We played them there. It was first year of Bobby Wallace coming back. They got us. Then 2013.
We got them on a 2-pointer.
Yep.
And then 2015, we also opened with them. Okay, that's right.
Yes,
That's
that was like a 24-10 type game. I don't know if that was the exact score, but something along that line, I think.
And
Gotcha.
and that's really the reason why Miles is on top. So other notable names: Southeastern Louisiana, who we opened up with back in 2021. That was actually supposed to be on the road, but due to the hurricane, we moved it up to Florence. That was Dr. Looney's first year. I thought we were impressing the AD by taking on a home football game, with a week's notice. Alabama A&M with 4. Albany State, Tusculum with 4, and then a lot of schools with 2, 1. So pretty cool. 4th straight year opening away from Florence. Longest streak in program history of opening up on the road. We opened up 3 straight in 2014, 15, 16, which was Mississippi College, Miles, Jacksonville State. So good guesses there, guys. 6th time in 8 years of Division I opening up on the road. So pretty interesting. A lot of home games back in Division II. And then during the 90s, it was a lot of random schools because nobody wanted to play us. So we had to travel for some of
Right.
them. Some of it was just schools like, wow, I can't believe we played them. So I love taking deep dives like that into the record book.
Yeah, it's fun. And there was another deep dive I took. I don't know if this is on your list, but speaking of season openers, UNA, this will only be the second time ever that the Lions will open against an FBS or a 1A opponent, the other one being Liberty in 2020. So another rare occurrence. We've had these games late in the year with like a Memphis. It was second game of the year last year because we had one before that. But then, that might be an end-of-the-year game in the past or Florida State, as we know. But Liberty was the first, and this will be the second FBS season opener for UNA.
One of the great things about this opener is it's not week 0. And Coach Dearman has kind of touched on this. Week 0 football is so difficult for us on the other side. And I don't even want to think about what the coaches go through, but for us administratively getting ready, it's just like, man, everything's a week early. It sneaks up on you in a hurry. But it was pretty nice not being in Montgomery last week and getting to actually grill out, take in some football. The weather kind of turned cool. I was like,
yeah.
is this our bye week or is this week 0? It was kind of nice being off last week.
Yeah, and the weather for us was great, but if you go down to Montgomery during that game, they actually had to cancel the game due to weather, and they just called it a no contest. They didn't even count the score because Mercer was down by a touchdown. And if you remember 2 years ago when we played against Mercer, I think we dealt with that delay for about an hour, got shifted to ESPNU, I think. So it was kind of nice not having the week 0 drama, if you will, and being able to open at a normal time.
So we're going to have our first guest stop by. North Alabama offensive coordinator Morgan Cruz, our first guest of the 2025 football season, stopping by. One of the busiest men around. Oh, and we got Brock Caraboa on deck.
We double team this here.
Yeah, let's.
Here we can.
How do you want to make this work?
Hey, we just kind of wing it. This is live television, live streaming. We're gonna have fun.
You're live, pal.
We talk about how much we enjoy traveling with one another, but we also enjoy the time behind the scenes with the coaches. So it's great to be with both of you. Week 1, how has this one felt for you guys? Opening up on the road, coming up to Kentucky, especially you, Coach Cruz, with all you do for traveling.
I'll tell you, this week was the first week since being a DFO for 6 years in college football that I wasn't a part of the advanced crew. So we have a phenomenal support staff around our football program that I gave them the directions, and so far they followed directions.
Hey, Coach, can I see your mic for a second?
Uh-oh.
It's not on. Man.
It's not on.
Test, test, test.
Oh, there we go.
I
We
heard it.
got you there.
Right now.
No.
We're
No,
close.
we heard a pop.
Here.
Yeah, I definitely heard a pop.
Well, we hear you tapping now. It worked when we tested. Test it now. We got the tap.
Test. 1, 2. Test.
Well, we've lost it. I guess it's.
We had it earlier.
Oh, hey, wait,
Oh,
whoa. We're back. We're
Oh.
back.
Got me now.
It was the way you held it.
Got me now. Hello. Tell it. Hello.
All right, yeah, let's.
You're gonna have to lay down under there to talk.
Hey, y'all.
It was when you hit the table. It definitely came on.
Do you have him
Oh,
now?
I thought we had it. We hear something.
I think we got a bad.
now?
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah,
We're
now.
live.
You got me now. We're good now. All right. We have a phenomenal support staff. UNA football. I gave them directions. They followed them. So far, so good right now.
Everything's going well for you.
So
For us, it's been a little rocky start here. It worked when we
You
tested.
see why we're doing this?
That's usually how it goes. It works when we test it. So, all right. So your role's changed a little bit, right? And who are some of those guys on that support staff that
So-
have stepped up?
What's crazy is we've got 2 guys that are student assistants for us. We good? Am I still good? Y'all hear me? All right. We've got 2 guys that are on our support staff that I got to coach in high school. They were at Brighton High School, and one of them was a quarterback. One of them was an O-lineman for me, Will Comer and Kay Grossen. And then our director of player personnel recruiting, Ben Hamner, has taken a big lead in that too. So we've got a bunch. Brant Smith, Ben DuBois, our equipment staff. All those guys really have chipped out a lot. But those first 5 really have pitched in big time this week. Because I'm telling you, I was nervous as all get out. I called Ben Hamner this morning at 8 o'clock, and I said, listen, I need you to be as passionate about operations as I am. I need you to feel my fire and execute my vision.
And he did.
He did so far.
I love that. I love that. There's so many things that go on behind the scenes with what you guys are doing. So many great people that step up and fill those roles that, they need to be shown a little love.
100%. What most people don't realize is that, yeah, Brock and I are here talking, whatever, but we can't do what we do without those people. Truthfully, y'all see it in y'all's business. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people. There's people behind this camera right there that do what they do, and it's because of them that we're able to either succeed at our job or give the best opportunities for our players. So.
That's right. An incredible support staff, but Coach, you also do a lot as well, and you got to give yourself some credit as well. And new role for you, not just your director of football operations responsibilities, but now you've transitioned to offensive coordinator. What's that balance like for you right now?
Brock's back here laughing because he knows it's chaotic. We're blending. That's a great way to put it.
There you
We're
go.
a blend of it. I'll put it like this. I'm still finding that blend. It's been really good having more hands-on in the offense side of it and taking over some more organizational side of it from the offensive side. But it's definitely been a transition, especially in season. And off season is totally different. You're just really just trying to figure out what you want to do schematically and talk about who you want to recruit. But when you're in season and you are game planning, knowing the game plan in and out, making sure you're trying to be one step ahead for Coach Dearman, it's definitely been a transition for sure.
Coach Carabosse, step up here because I got to ask you this. You and Coach Weavers last year had a little night before tradition, right,
Yeah.
of sharing. What would you guys get, a Sprite, I think?
Yeah,
And you guys
right.
would share it, kind of talk through the game. Are you two going to establish something new? Do we know?
Yeah, we haven't actually talked about it, but we probably need to, yeah. Maybe.
We spend every night
Yeah.
together. We're the last 2 in the office every night.
Yeah.
You're three
More
for
than likely.
you're 3 for you here at UNA. You've been doing this a while. How does this night before compare to maybe some others?
I told the defensive coaches, as kind of started today off with we had a defensive meeting as coaches at 9:30 and talked about yesterday's practice. Then we had a team meeting. Right when you walked in that team meeting at 10 a.m., our guys were locked in and did a 5-minute team meeting. Then we went and did a defensive meeting and a walkthrough, and it's one of the probably one of the better, if not the best walkthrough we've had as a defense. In my time here, guys are locked in, coaches coaching, and players talking and communicating. It was really smooth. So I was really excited for that, and that as we got on the bus and got rolling here, I tell you what, like we got nice buses. We rolled up here. It was nice. Like I walked in my room and there's purple Powerade in my room. So the details that Coach Cruz goes to put a purple Powerade in my room is like that. That's the level of detail he has, and it's going to translate into our offense as well, just because of who he is and what he does. But it's been fun. We have great food here with Big Taco Bar. Our guys were locked in for walkthroughs and meetings tonight, so it's an atmosphere where you feel the energy, but it's not nervous energy. It's energy of good vibes almost. So good people here. I love it here. So it's definitely an exciting time. I'm excited for tomorrow.
Coach, it's a 6 p.m. kickoff tomorrow, and I think we've talked about this before. Sometimes if it's a 1 o'clock kickoff, for example, there's less time you have to fill in between, and I know you guys have ways to stay locked in, but what do you do differently for like a night kickoff on a Saturday when you're on the road, you have to be in the hotel, and you have to plan out so much time before you get to the stadium?
Yeah, well, I'll probably wake up early tomorrow. I'll come downstairs. I always call my dad right when I wake up, and just kind of as I go into my walk in the morning, then I get into my light jog, what some people may say, but I do run in the morning. And I just kind of clear my head in the morning before breakfast and before walk, and just kind of get a feel of what I'm feeling that day, and how anything maybe tips or reminders I need to do. I think about on my run. Then we do our walk and team meeting, and we have about a 4-hour break, and I just get to watch college football. I try to break away for about 4 hours and just watch college football, and if I'm not watching college football, I'm probably going to put The Office on. And just maybe just trying to get away from that, and just try to break away, and call my wife Katie, and just get make sure she's doing okay coming up here, and about 2 o'clock I'm ready to roll. So I just try to be as normal as possible. But the first thing I do when I get up, I'll call my dad, talk about the game. That's kind of a tradition I've had.
3 years now, and I just learned you're an Office fan. Let's go.
What's your favorite?
Yeah, Mike.
Sorry,
Scott,
Brian.
yeah,
No,
yeah,
you're good.
yeah.
You're good.
What's your favorite episode?
The dinner party.
Yes,
I knew it.
My favorite.
Everybody says the dinner party.
Do you like our plasma TV that we've got up there as the monitor? That's what that makes me. That's what that makes me think of.
It
Yeah,
makes everything all right.
Yeah, it's good. I love it.
Brian's
No, you're fine. How has this week been? Transitioning out of camp, where you're beating up on each other, and you're going day in and day out, and now this week, how has it been different for you and the players? I
think going against our offense, for it seems like I think it was 20 some practices. That's a challenge in itself, because they make you defend every inch of the field, and it really gets us ready for any offense that we're going to see throughout the year. So being able to transition from UNA's offense to now Western Kentucky's offense, we feel that as we go into this game, that we've seen things that, from our offense, and obviously I'm very familiar with their offensive coordinator, Coach Bowie, and their quarterback, who we played last year. I mean, talk about tons of respect for guys. That offensive coordinator, Coach Bowie, is one of the best, if not the best guy that I've gone against. So he definitely does some tricks for you. He puts you in some binds, and the quarterback is as good as they come by. He plays patient and sees the field. He's a veteran quarterback. So it's I think our guys understand where we were last year when we played, and we didn't play great in the first half. And in the second half, we made we were able to make some adjustments, but right from the get-go, they knew, okay, hey, we're going to go play Maverick. We're playing the offensive coordinator. Okay, Coach Helton, who's done a great job as the Western Kentucky head coach. Our guys have been focused from the get-go, and we watched them in the summer. We feel that we know that we see what they're going to do, but obviously every game takes its own identity. But I really like our focus that we've gone into this week with.
Let's talk a little bit about you coming away from us a little bit and just focusing kind of on the league and how strong it's been. We just watched Tarleton beat Army in double overtime. You saw West Georgia's big win over Samford.
Being from Indiana, I'm familiar with the Missouri Valley Conference, but I would put this league right up there with that. I really would, from top to bottom. This league, we got Texas. We're spread up: Texas, Arkansas, Utah, Tennessee, Kentucky, Alabama, Georgia. I mean, that's a lot of state. That's a lot of really good football down south. And then you're going out west a little bit, and then you got 2 schools in Texas. I mean, it's top to bottom, and you're traveling. On top of that, you're having to travel to Utah. You have to travel to Texas. That puts a strain on you as any program. Like we saw last year, Central Arkansas, who was, I think, 10th in the country at the time, had to fly out to Utah.
Yeah.
And got beat. Or Utah Tech, and Utah Tech, and they got beat by Utah Tech, who Utah Tech wasn't having the best year, but they were able to beat them. Was it travel? Was it, the big win that they had on us? I don't know, but you have to bring it every week, and I think our league's only going to get stronger. So love being in this conference because it makes you a better football coach for sure.
The league really showed out last year in the playoffs as well.
Yeah.
With three teams getting in, a couple wins as well from each. And Coach Cruz, give us some perspective on this defense. Coach Caraboa just ran through kind of going up against you guys. What's it like going up against that defense for the last 20-odd some days of practice?
Well, the good thing is Caraboa and I won't be mad at each other.
Any late-night arguments between the two of you?
Hey, we'll get into the office after practice. We'll say, "What were you doing, man?" It's good. We develop a really great competitiveness, an edge to win in drills or situations or whatever, which Coach Caraboa does a really good job of. And we try to do the same thing on offense, but Coach Caraboa does a phenomenal job of making sure that even though the defense may win a situation, UNA will win. And, the biggest thing that I like about this week is that we get to be UNA. For so long we fight against each other and we're competing for spots or whatever, but it's now turned into we're one family fighting for wins as a team. And so it's been a big thing there.
I was walking through earlier and noticing guys as they were kind of interacting with each other, and it really, I've seen it before with this team. It's nothing new, but it's a brotherhood. I see that in their eyes and their faces as they were interacting as we're walking through the hallway.
I tell you what, I think we've got. It's been 3 years in development process, but we've got a great group of character kids. I think that, and slowly just because of the way we've recruited as a staff, the way we've kind of evaluated guys from high school, talking to high school coaches, talking to family members and things, bringing guys in that are adding to the character side of our program, but also the sense that we've got some guys that were with us our first year that now have been 3 years, and they understand what the vision is. They understand what we want from the culture side of it. And so the brotherhood and the family that you talk about is even stronger. And they don't mind holding each other accountable. And that's a big part of a family in a sense. When you're able to, I can look at my younger brother and tell him when he's doing something wrong. And he doesn't get butthurt about it. He didn't get upset about it. You know what I mean? He takes it and he says, okay, yeah, you're right. I need to fix that. So you're definitely right. I think that's a big part of where we are right now with our culture, and it's big.
I've got a question for both of you. Coach Cruz, we'll start with you since you've got the microphone. And we did some research this week, and this is the first time in program history that we've had 2 former players that are Hall of Famers on the staff at one time. We've had a ton of former players come back, but Mike Johnson, Steve Carter, both in the Athletic Hall of Fame. It's very cool to see. And Mike Johnson, Coach Dearman keeps talking about how he's on the Mount Rushmore of UNA players. I agree. He's my all-time favorite UNA football player. I loved when I was in school when Big Mike was playing, but he played with intensity. Has he brought that intensity as a coach as well?
Oh, 100%. When he gets out there on that field, those running backs feel him from day one, from the first moment, from the first whistle blown. They feel him. He brings a level of deep passion for the game of football and for UNA that is almost unmatched. And so the way he played, he doesn't get to break somebody's face like he did when he played, but he gets to tear into some back ends when they don't make the right steps, or they don't see the hole when it's open. So he definitely creates a sense of fire and intensity out there on the field with everything that he does.
And then Coach Caraboa, on your side of the football, Steve Carter, he was on the first ever championship team at UNA back in 1980. He went viral when he was at Athens High School with Cody Gross for the Manly Mondays, where he taught guys how to change tires, tie a tie, just basic things like that. And he's a phenomenal human being. What kind of wisdom has he brought to you all in that defensive room?
Man, I tell you what, before I go to Coach Carter, Coach Johnson does sneak into that defensive.
Oh,
room.
does he?
Just so you know. He's still a linebacker at heart.
I love
And,
it. That's what people want to hear right
yeah,
there.
he does, and I look up and I say, "What's up, Coach Johnson?" And then I'm like, "You're good. You can stay. You can come anytime." He does, 'cause
It's in his blood.
Yeah, it's in his blood, and no, he's awesome to have on staff. I love having him. He does the thing I think he does. He brings a unique perspective from a linebacker to the running back. Because he's so familiar with playing that spot, and I always bounce things off of him. Hey, what you think here, and how would you play this at backer? So he does a good job of just providing insight for me as well. So, but Coach Carter, first of all, he is a phenomenal person, like you said. He reminds me of my uncle, Coach Tutsy, who is at Marion, who I played, who I coached with for 4 years there. And the thing that he provides me is just what you said, the wisdom that he had, and the wisdom that Coach Carter has. I mean, he's forgotten more football than I know, and because he's seen so many different things, and he always asks me, hey, it's never like, hey, I think you might be wrong here. It's, hey, have you ever thought about this? And when a coach says something like that, it makes you think as a coach, okay, I haven't really thought about that, but it's never coming out as like, hey, I've done it this way, because, usually as a coach that's been, he's been in the game for 30 years, sometimes coaches are set in their ways. I think the thing that makes Coach Carter so special, he's able to adapt, but he's also able to help groom younger coaches. He's able to, help to adapt to new systems, and he just does a phenomenal job helping me see the game, from almost from a helicopter view at times. And I think that's, it's really helped me in my growth as a football coach, having him, and he's intense now. I sometimes, when I'm special teams, I don't really have much on special teams. I go down there and hang out with the D-line, and I don't really say much, and because he's on those dudes hard. He coaches hard, and those players love playing for him because he's got to do everything he can to, to get the best out of them. He loves them off the field, but he coaches them hard, and we've improved up front under him, and Coach Persons as well. But I'd say what Coach Carter brings, man, is second to none. I'm so lucky to have him on our staff.
That's great. And kind of going back to Michael Johnson, talked about him for a second. Just want to make a quick announcement here. We tried to get him down here tonight, but he did text me, and he said, lock me in for next week.
Okay.
So let's hold him to that.
We're going to lock you in.
Michael Johnson next week. You tune in Friday night. He will be
Breaking
here.
news. Add it to the ticker.
Lock it up.
Mike on the mic.
Hey,
There you go.
Mike Scheffler right
That's
here. A mic drop. Can we call it a mic drop?
A mic drop.
Man, I got to ask you guys, too, because you guys also coach position groups. I want to talk about your guys a little bit. And, Coach Cruz, we can start with you, talking about last year you had the stable. That was kind of your group, and a lot of those guys are still here. But now you're the tight ends coach, and you're working with those guys.
The pain train.
What's that?
We call ourselves the pain train.
The pain
Pain
train.
train.
And, man, there's a lot of pain that goes on. It seems like sometimes after practice. Man, you guys, there's a lot of love in that room. Just talk about those tight ends.
Man, so when I took over the tight ends, going into the off season, and I kind of felt it out. We got 3 guys that returned from last year's squad that's tight ends. We added a new one. So Caleb Heatherly coming back. Caleb. Caleb is primed for a really good year. He's developed really well. He's got the thing that most people don't realize about Heatherly is that he's a very smart football player. And what he may lack, and whether it be flexibility, whatever it may be, I'm sure people break him down and say, hey, he can't do this or that or whatever. He makes up for it by being smart. And he's going to put himself in position to get the job done. So, and then we returned to Amari Rogers and Nathan Brockway, who saw considerable times, whether it be in special teams or on the field in different personnel groupings. But those 2 guys being veterans really add a lot of comfort for me, knowing that they can go in and play at any time. And then we added a guy, Christian Burkhalter. He's got a younger brother, Bishop Burkhalter, on the team, And we actually call both of them the Bash Brothers because they and it's where we carry over. I mean, Bishop's a linebacker. I've got the older brother, Christian, but they absolutely love contact. And Christian is when I brought him in and we talked about it, I sat him down the first meeting I had with him, and I showed him, hey, this is our vision for you. And he looked at me and he said, that's what I want to do. And what I talked about violence. I talked about bringing pain, and that's what he loves. He loves being a physical blocker, but he's athletic enough to make somebody miss in space. So I'm excited to coach these guys. I tell you what, our practices, we put them through the ringer, and but at the end of the day, what we get out of that tight end room is we get the ability to be really explosive offensively because they have to know everything about the offense that the quarterback does. They just don't get to throw the ball.
Absolutely. And then Coach Caraboa, talk a little bit about those linebackers. There's going to be some names that we know, some names we don't. Seth Hampton's a guy that we've talked to a lot, and the fans are going to love him. They saw him a lot last year. They're going to see him a lot this year, and they're going to just love the person he is. And then you got a lot of other guys in that room as well.
Yeah, it's really a great group. I love coaching them, and being back at the linebacker spot is kind of natural for me playing linebacker in college. So it's definitely been a lot of fun just getting back into it. But first off, Seth, he's our captain, Mike linebacker, phenomenal person, winner on and off the field, won in high school at Thompson. He brings that edge to him. Very, very smart football player. Understands the game from in and out. He was making all the checks and stuff. And I said, hey, I need to hear those guys make it. All right. So in the bar, but I was just messing with him. But he's another coach on the field. Does such a good job. So excited for the year he's going to have. Tango McCauley, what was the guy that we got in January. When I talk about violence, you should have his picture right next to it. And him and Christian kind of go back and forth a little bit and sometimes in practice. But Tango is a great person, has such a good heart, easy to coach. But he's a violent player. Dad played in the NFL. He understands what it takes to be a great football player, wants to be great. If someone was going to send him mail, it's probably my office because that's where he lives probably 18 hours of the day. So he's always in there. Sometimes he's shirtless coming in there and just wants to watch film. I'm like, put a shirt on. But he's a great kid and excited for the year he's going to have. He's playing a couple of different spots for us that we're able to showcase what he can do, and I'm excited about him. Bishop Burkhalter is our next Mike, the freshman. He came on a trip with us because the thing that he does such a good job, he can run, and he understands what a linebacker is because he's grown up ever since he was probably 5 years old playing it. So he understands the game. He's still a freshman, so he'll make some freshman mistakes, but then he makes some plays like, man, that guy has to be on the field somehow, some way. He's going to be on special teams tomorrow, and he's a linebacker. He's a backup in all spots. But I'll tell you what, I feel really confident playing him. When he has the chance to. You move over to Will Jabari Hill. Started out as a corner at Florida, at FAU. So you talk about athleticism. That's what he has, and I kid him all the time. I mean, Jabari, when he walks in, man, it looks like a mannequin at those athletic stores. I said, Jabari, I used to look kind of like you.
That's
all
great.
Right. So, but I mean, he looks like that, and he can move, and he's smart. He moved really from corner to safety to sandbacker, now to Will, and he's last year you might remember in the game where he put the quarterback out. Plays violent. Understands, loves playing linebacker. Really wanted to do it when he first got here, but we needed him a couple of other spots. But I'm excited for the transition change for him because he's been able to adapt into that. He looks more comfortable. So he was a guy right in camp where, I mean, it was first 4 or 5 practices. He was player of the day for practice a couple times. And he understands the game, loves playing the game. I like coaching him, and then. DeMarcus Robinson, the kid we got from Georgia Southern, was if you're in any program and you wear the number 0, that's special. He wore number 0 at Georgia Southern. Was a core 4 special teams guy, was a role player on defense, but he runs a 4.5 240, and I told him I ran a 4.52 in the 38-yard dash. All right, really probably the 32-yard dash, really. But I'm giving myself a little credit. Probably 32, maybe 26. I don't know. But he's faster than lightning. Loves football. Is a great special teams player, and has really grown at the will linebacker spot to be a guy that him and Jabari. I mean, it's neck and neck with who's in, who's not. Like either all 4, all 5 of those guys, I feel comfortable with playing them all. But the thing that we call DeMarcus, we call him D-Rob. So D-Rob on the play, probably, people are going to say that. So but he's fast, he's athletic, love coaching him. Parents are here. Parents are big supporters already. They're already up here. So just excited to see what he's going to do because he's a great kid, great person to work with. Another guy that we have up here is Aiden Robinson. Vestavia Hills, Alabama guy. He's going to be more on special teams with us, he's coming next couple of weeks. But he's a kid that does a great job on special teams, has improved at linebacker, playing our Mike. He's long and lanky, and I'm excited for his season. And then 2 young guys that we have in the back that aren't with us is Raylan Sims, who did everything at BB Comer, was a quarterback, running back, safety, kick returner, punt returner. Talk about a kid that's going to have a huge, bright future. Raylan Sims is a kid to remember. And Q Robinson, kid from Baker High School down in Mobile, Alabama, is fast, athletic, going to be a guy to watch here in the future. So excited about all those guys.
I can verify you always have people in your office when I walk by. Sometimes we can hear them. We're neighbors. But then I also just realized you're in that office now. I was in that office at one time.
yeah.
Mike, you were in that office, right? At some point,
Briefly.
probably briefly. So a lot of good memories back there.
Yeah,
But
it's a great spot.
it is. It looks better with you. You got the shelves out of there. So and you painted.
Yeah, I did paint. That's one of the first things I did. Is paint, and then Coach Cruz actually hung my whiteboard.
Oh, let's go.
There you go.
Hey, I got some stuff in my office. Off season, I'll get with you. Well, gentlemen, thank you both for stopping by.
Yeah,
I want to
thank
be
you for having us. This is
respectful.
awesome.
It's
Appreciate
always
you.
great chatting with you
Thank
guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Good luck, brother.
Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
You guys get some rest. Enjoy your days tomorrow. And we'll do it at 6 o'clock tomorrow night. Brock Caraboa, Morgan Cruz, appreciate them stopping by and chatting with us. And
Thanks, guys. Thank y'all.
I'll tell you what. That is one of my favorite things right there. We talked a good bit of UNA. We talked all over the place. But that is why we love this football program so much, is because Coach Dearman, all of those coaches, they're just outstanding human beings.
Yeah, they are. I love being around them. And the one thing, and you guys picked up long on that long before I did, was the passion that they have. I mean, you can just hear them talking about the guys, and they rattle them off and can tell you personal things about each one. They can tell you about how they are on the field. They can tell you they're 4.523674 in the 40. I mean, has it narrowed down that much that they know that much about those guys? That's because they love them.
Yeah, and not only that, but they also love the people they work with, too. And those 2 guys especially, and I will even throw in Luke Roth, another coordinator, the special teams coordinator. I come to the office today right before we leave. I'm just coming to get my last-minute stuff. Coach Cruz sees me. He's like, Mike, I've got an itinerary for you. Here's everything we're doing. Here's your travel roster. Just already has that prepared. That means a lot to me. And then I see Coach Roth right down the hall, and he's like, hey, I've got the special teams depth chart for you so that when you're keeping up with who's playing in the game and you got to keep up with participation for compliance, you can see who's going to be on the field and who's got a double number just in case. Like, all that stuff is so helpful. Coach Carabella always, anything you need from me, like, it's just so good working with these guys.
And Coach Cruz is always so busy. I feel bad sometimes when, I stop him in the office or, I poke my head in and say hello because he has so much on his plate. He's one of the busiest men in our department, busiest people regardless of what you're doing. But they all do such a phenomenal job. And now that I know Coach Carabella, I'm disappointed. It took me 3 years to learn this. Now that I know that he's an Office fan, I'm not going to lie. When he said he was an Office fan and then he said that the dinner episode was his favorite, that's my favorite episode as well. I kind of blanked out for a second because I just started thinking of all the funny moments from, and you and I are both big Office fans, so that's good to know right there. But again, we'll get Big Mike next week. We're going to try to just rotate coaches through. It's always great hearing from them. And they both kind of did some great rundowns, and I think we can use the rest of our time kind of diving back through this UNA roster. We can start on the offensive side and kind of talk about what we know, and a lot of what we know is what we've seen on paper, and we'll learn a lot tomorrow. And offensively, Mike, it has really probably started with the offensive line up front, and Ryan Walker probably headlines this group. And I'm going to set you both up. One, Mike, it's a pretty deep group. Brian East, too. We highlighted Ryan Walker a lot last year.
Yeah, I mean, he's the guy that when you talk about the offensive line and you talk about leaders, he's where you start. And you look at his size at 6'3", 285, maybe a little bit bigger than that, but he's an anchor on that offensive line. One of those guys that you can depend on each and every game. One of those guys that the coaches can rely on. They love the way he plays. They love his physicality on the offensive line. And I love the way he plays and the way he carries himself even on the field.
Yeah, speaking of Ryan Walker, I think last year he was listed at 260, maybe 265, and he is absolutely beefed up this offseason. Listed at 285 now, and he's a great presence to have on the offensive line, not only as a leader, but, man, just physically really good on pull plays. Just a great right guard to have. Ben, back to your point, 7 starters return on the offensive side.
But there's only 5 spots, Mike.
Yeah, that's right. On the offense, period.
So
sorry.
No, well, I was just going with some of the depth of guys that have played as well.
So 4 on the offensive line, four starters return, and I mean, in the one that isn't is Drew Lawson, and I mean, what an addition there. Coming from Southern Miss, he was up for the Jason Witten College Man of the Year last year. He was a walk-on at Southern Miss, played there for 3 years. Or 4 years maybe, and kind of just worked his way and then started every game last year. Was able to come here once Ben Thomas took the job, and really cool to see that the guy that coached him at Southern Miss, now a UNA alum, back at UNA. Drew coming here. He's also from Bob Jones, nearby in Madison, Alabama, so he's expected to play a lot of center. Noah Boltikoff will probably start at right tackle. He's a transfer from TCU in Indiana, so he's been in some big-time programs. He was with TCU when they made that run against Georgia in the national championship game. So a lot of experience with him as a grad transfer, and just a big offensive line too. And physical, you got some tall guys as well. Colin Wright's another one that's been in the program a long time, really paid his dues, earned his stripes, a Muscle Shoals product. Fans will like to see that. And then the skill positions too. I mean, you got a lot of guys back. We talked about the running back room a little bit. You got 3 returning lettermen in that room, Juice Allen, a preseason all-conference selection, and then you got a Western Kentucky transfer, L.T. Sanders, that's going to be in the mix as well. So a lot to be excited about on offense.
Definitely, and moving from offensive line to running backs, probably the second most experienced group. And I look at this room right now. You got Juice, who, when Juice arrived last, I don't remember if he was an early enrollee. I think he was. But last summer, just getting to know Juice around the facility, outstanding guy. Kind of quiet, but once he opens up to you, he's a very funny young man. Had a big start against SEMO, got a little banged up, and really just grinded throughout the year, was our best running back last year. You've got Juice. You've got Jalen Fletcher, who was, a 2 or 3 time UAC Freshman of the Week award, Jerry Rice Award watch list at one point. Strong finish to his year. Then Jalen Daniels, JD, he's back. He's healthy. He's running 23 miles an hour, 22 miles an hour, and his squats and bench press have all shot up.
That's
He's
incredible.
Just a solid rock. And then you throw in LT to the mix. Roderick Taylor was good before he got hurt. Kingston Lowe. I mean, this is a group where I'm sitting here wondering, how do you get them all the football?
Yeah,
That's a good problem.
That's a great problem to have, and depth at running back, because I mean, let's face it, running backs are going to take a beating. The lifespan of a running back's career is not very long. If they get on into the NFL, it's even shorter. But to have that kind of depth and then add in the kind of talent that UNA has at that position, I mean, it's a position that years from now you look back at this group and wow, that was a very impressive group. I think that's what you'll see with this group.
I think you go to all levels of college and professional, sometimes even at the high school level if you got multiple guys. You don't see a lot of the bell cow workhorse running backs anymore taking 20, 25 carries a game. You get, maybe 7, 8 carries, and those carries get you more yards per carry. You got a guy like Jalen Fletcher. He's more of an outside sweep type runner, and you see what he does when he gets in space. So if you're running plays in between the tackles, that might not be your guy. You might have a Juice Allen run that play or whatever. So you got a lot of flexibility if you're Morgan Cruz on the offensive side of the ball.
I am a former high school offensive lineman, and I love the warfare in the trenches. And I'm not gonna say I think hey, football's one. You have to run. You got to run the football, but I love it. And my deep cut stat tonight is in North Alabama's 6 wins the last 2 years. How about 239.8 yards per game on the ground? We'll round up and call it 240. Highlighted by a 300-yard performance against Utah Tech, 216 against SEMO. We lost that game. 246 against Chattanooga a few years ago. When UNA football has been running the football the last couple of years, we've been at our best. And I look at this offensive line. I look at the stable, as Coach Cruz kind of deemed these guys last year. It makes me pretty excited.
I love the fact that UNA can use that offensive line that they have, the talent there on the offensive line, and then you've got those running backs behind them. What does that do for the pass game? I mean, that just opens up the pass game even more. You've got to settle on defense. You've got to settle your linebackers to look for the run. They can't drop back in pass coverage as much. So it opens up so much for your offense if you have a great group of running backs like UNA has. I mean, Ari Patu obviously wants to throw the football, but he's got to love having those running backs there that can open up the offense.
And the coolest part about this whole year is now they're being coached by a former linebacker that's been on the other side of the ball in Michael Johnson, somebody that terrorized running backs for years. So he's giving advice to these running backs now from a defensive perspective. So it's kind of unique that you see that, a defensive-minded coach moving to the offensive side of the ball and working with these running backs.
We'll have to ask him when we finally get him on one of our mini shows. I think Big Mike had 5 rushing touchdowns in a game in high school. Playing both ways way back. I think he was down from the Pensacola area, but we'll dive into that with him. But from the run game to the air attack, and let's jump into quarterbacks. And Ari Patu transferred in from Stanford, and I think this gets lost a lot of times with Ari last year was he graduated from Stanford, not Stanford out in California before he came to North Alabama. And that graduation wasn't until halfway through June, so he really did not get to go through an off season last year. So think about it. He arrived for the second half of summer workouts. We had that week 0 game on top of that, so he's really thrust into the action early. Not a lot of time to build chemistry with receivers, and we saw him week 0 against SEMO. We saw him week 2 against Memphis, but the third game of the year against Illinois State, no doubt about it, his best game, threw for 300, was very effective running the football, and broke that wrist on a gutsy touchdown run while making that comeback in the fourth quarter. Still came back out and finished the game, which was remarkable. But he really played his best football last year right when he got hurt. And I think that's why there's a lot of reason to be excited about Ari and the rest of the quarterback room is because Ari's now got that full offseason. He's healthy. He is locked in and dialed in. And I think we're going to see a very, very good quarterback from Ari this year.
I think you're exactly right. And he's ready. We talked to him a couple of nights ago at the coaches show. He's ready, and you can kind of see that in him. He's focused. I mean, I think he could have gone out that night and played. He had that kind of focus, and you could see it in his eyes. So I'm excited to see him play. The biggest part of that is the time that he's had now under this program and under Coach Dearman to learn the system and learn, like you said, he had really no time at all to learn the system when he came here. So having that time in the program, I think is going to benefit him greatly.
Yeah, there's so many intangibles that you're talking about there, Brian. Being in the program, knowing the system, and then 6'4", 220. He's got the build. He's got a good frame. He could see over the offensive line very well. He could throw the ball well. So he's got the physical. He's got the mental. And also, this is a big part for me. He's got the vote of confidence from his coaches and from his teammates. They all voted him a team captain this year. I think it says a lot, not only to be a quarterback, but also to be voted by your teammates and your peers as a team captain. It puts a lot of trust in Ari. It's probably going to give him a lot of confidence as well.
There's high expectations from this wide receiver room in the fact that 63% of the receiving yards from last year are gone, and that's mostly from Takari Kennebrew, future Hall of Famer, Kobe Warden, somebody that we'll remember forever from walk-on to all-time great player, and Dakota Warfield, who just got better and better every single season. So you're talking about 63% of the yards, 61% of catches, 53% of touchdown catches. Bear with me for just 1 second. So this wide receiver group returns 3 players with 10 or more career catches at North Alabama. Tanaka Scott leads that group. He's the big physical guy, really found his stride at the end of last season. 10 of the 14 receivers on the roster have never caught a pass at UNA, while 9 of the 14 don't have any catches in their careers. And it takes me, Brian, back to 2018. When we opened up out at Southern Utah, we lost a lot of wide receivers. Dre Hall from the year before, and we were wondering who is going to catch the football on this offense. And what happened? You had Jacoby Bird, Cortez Hall, Dexter Boykin, Andre Little. They were the birth of those four kind of happened in that Southern Utah game, and that's part of what is so exciting about this group is there's some names that we've seen around for a while. There's some new names. There's a lot of opportunities for this group.
Exactly right, and I think Tanaka Scott, kind of by default, and he's the guy to kind of lead that group, and I'm kind of excited like you are as far to see what kind of ability they bring. I'm excited to see guys stretch the field and going across the middle to make these exciting catches. And hearing you bring up those names, fires me up even more. Those guys were awesome.
I never will forget. We're sitting in that press box, and we're like, what's this offense going to look like? Who are they going to throw it to? And then those four as redshirt freshmen put on an absolute show, and they were dogs. Mike's a dog. They
were dogs.
They were dogs. I loved watching those four young men. And so, Mike, I know some of these new faces, Justin Pegues, Jeremiah Thomas, they've got a chance to really shine.
Yeah, let's start with Justin Pegues. Fun fact, by the way, here's your stat of the day. I told you guys this in the car. Bowling Green is where he played last year, not Bowling Green, Kentucky.
It's so confusing.
Bowling Green, Ohio. The
you mean
team
Bowling
in the MAC.
Green is not in Bowling Green?
Yeah.
Who knew?
How wild is that? So we're going north to Ohio, Bowling Green State University, where Justin Pegues was before he came to North Alabama. Last year, Justin Pegues, very first play of the college football season for that team, took a kickoff return for a touchdown. This year, Bowling Green started their season the exact same way. So how about that? I mean, it's crazy that Justin was the one that did that last year, but UNA fans will be reckoned with this guy very quickly on Saturday. He's going to play the wide receiver kind of in the slot. You'll see him on a lot of screens and inside slants. They're just going to find a way to get him the ball. He's so shifty, very fast. He's going to play a lot of kick returner as well based on kind of what we just talked about. He was Special Teams Player of the Week at Bowling Green that week. So, and I think he was an all-MAC kick returner as well. So this is a guy to watch. You mentioned Jeremiah Thomas. He's a true freshman, had a very good fall camp. Is somebody definitely to look out for. You get a lot of experience in that room, too, with guys like Caden Cooper, KJ Fields. One guy I'm really excited about, Noah Gregg.
I was going to bring him up.
Yeah, and, I'll let you talk about him a little bit. I just quickly wanted to say, he kind of broke out a little bit last year. He had a really good spring. That's a guy I'm really looking forward to, especially being a local guy from Brooks.
Freak athlete and looks it as well. And you kind of circle him because, all right, you had Kobe Warden from Brooks High School last year. You had Jacoby Bird from Florence High School kind of before that. I think of guys like Daniel Ullman, a local guy who's a very good wide receiver. There's always been good local wide receivers that kind of emerge. And so we pull for everybody at UNA, but especially for Mike and I, Shoals area guys, when there's local high school products, we always root extra hard for them. So it'll be fun to watch that group emerge. So let's jump over to the defensive side of the football and talking with Coach Caraboa and even Coach Dearman. We'll talk about this in the pregame show tomorrow. Which, by the way, starts at 5 o'clock, the Bank Independent Countdown to Kickoff show. Catch it on the Varsity Network. And right here, however you're watching this show this evening, you see there on your screen, I still got to figure out what this Twitch thing is. Brian gets a little Twitch sometimes in the booth. But we'll try to figure that out.
Is that what
one
that's
day.
called?
So, but talking with them, they love this defensive line group.
They do, and for good reason. You look at this group, and I'm going to start with Jaheim Ingram. He wears number 44 for a reason, and he loves wearing that number. He's the leader. He is the leader of that unit, and we got to talk to him Monday night, and I love what he had to say as far as being the leader of that unit and being the leader of that team, or that side of the football. I just love the way that this unit has come together. And the talent that's there. You heard Coach Caraboa talk about the linebackers and the way they all gel together. The offensive side of the football is going to be good for UNA, but the defensive side of the football could shine. I mean, be the brightest bulb in the box, so to speak. That side of the football has a chance to be really, really good, really, really fast.
Yeah, and I think that part of the defense is probably going to be your anchor this year. And you look in the two guys in the very middle, like you said, Jaheim Ingram, named a captain. He's been wearing the number 44 in honor of Ronald McKinnon. Big honor for the defense. And then you got Caleb Brown, who's back after another JUCO year was granted to him. So fifth year of football for him, third at UNA. Excited to see what he can do, and a lot of talent on that side of the ball. You've got a couple of transfers. Jamari Payne coming from Purdue, who's played at high level football. You also got B.J. Dicotti, who's coming from Vanderbilt, and he played quite a bit at Vanderbilt. Fred Veely coming back as a sophomore. Avery Howard, guys that can just contribute all around. And obviously on the defensive line, kind of like running back, you got to have a good mix of guys coming in and out. And those are the two positions you see that at the most. And I think there's a lot of depth there for Steve Carter's defensive line.
I'm very excited for Fred Veely and full off season for him. And he's a guy that really came on, had the big sack against Memphis last year. I mean, as a true freshman, to be a true freshman and play on the defensive line early, Jaheim did it, Fred did it. Super excited to see his step forward. But Avery Howard, who you just referenced, put on 15 pounds of muscle this offseason. And he's always kind of been that long, skinny defensive end, and now he's kind of got the muscle to go with it. All three strength coaches have highlighted him to me. How about he ran 22 miles an hour this summer as well, so he can fly off of that edge.
I want to mention for a second Fred Veely. Talking about him for just a second. If UNA fans, if you haven't seen him play, his initial first step off of the line is so quick. I mean, he is, defensive end, you need to be quick there. But his first step is so quick, and excuse me, he's so powerful off that defensive end. He's fun to watch.
And you know what's wild, looking back at last year's defense and the defensive line, and this past couple of weeks, I really had to go back and do a deep dive because, one, it's been a long year since last year's football year. Two, I kind of had a child this offseason, so I haven't really been
busy.
I haven't really been in athletics mode until about last night with soccer and football for the last couple of weeks, getting back into it. But 25 sacks, that was the third most in the league. It was probably a little bit higher before a couple of teams had some playoff pushes. But 25 sacks, and it wasn't one guy with 15 sacks like you see with a lot of teams. It was a bunch of dudes with 3 to 5 sacks. And also that's because we didn't get to ask him. Coach Caraboa loves dialing up a good blitz.
He does, and I think those first two guys we talked about, Caleb Brown and Jaheim Ingram. Caleb actually led the team in tackles for loss last season, and I think 3.5 of those were sacks. So, I mean, those guys will get in the backfield, and not only did we get a lot of sacks, but some of those are coming back this year.
All right, Coach Caraboa took us through the linebackers, and there's nothing we can really add to that except for Seth Hampton, star on YouTube. You're going to get to know him a lot out on the field, but go look him up on YouTube. He's got some great behind-the-scenes stuff.
Yeah, he's doing a lot of the day in the life of a college football athlete. People love that. You know, they want to know what a college athlete goes through, and you even see it on the video games where you can, create your player and go through college and take classes and all the fun stuff on the video games. But Seth can take you through that on YouTube, and they came to Headshot Day and they were shooting a video with Juice Allen talking about how much was your suit, and just doing fun stuff. And, they do drills together, who did it best, and they go to restaurants, and it's really fun. And Seth, had a passion for that starting in high school and maybe even a little before that, but did a lot when he was at Thompson High School. Not only a standout football player, but did a lot of videos, and that translated to college. And he came to my office, I think, early August, maybe even late July, and just asked, can I keep some of my equipment in here? And you guys are welcome to use it. And he wants to collaborate with us a little bit. So Seth, that's a guy you're definitely going to get to know. Just a great guy and a very good content creator.
And I'm hoping, as you tune into some of our ESPN broadcasts at home this year, that we're going to be able to feature some of his content at halftime. But, of course, we want him locked in on football, so we're not pestering him for a lot of that. But also, I asked Davis Farlow, our videographer, to do a little behind-the-scenes on us, a vlog of us traveling, and I guess we were so boring. He did. I hadn't seen him.
I haven't seen a lot of cameras.
Seen him do, unless he's got they're hidden.
Maybe
that's
what it is.
That way he can kind of catch.
Yep.
So Seth, we can't wait to see him roll. And then the secondary. And secondary-wise, God, you got to replace Gregory Reddick. You got to replace Evan White Schultz. And those two have meant so much on the back end. You got some corners you got to replace. But I want to talk about a guy, my cousin, not really, Jermaine Ray Jr. We just share the last name. I like to say it. He was he didn't get the conference honors he deserves because probably because the interception numbers weren't there. But think about the league leader wide receivers that came in last year that he locked down. I mean, he's a shutdown guy. I can take one side of the field.
Yeah, 5 pass breakups last year as well. He was all over the field and, kind of taking on those top receivers on the outside. The UAC, such a great receiving conference. A lot of teams air the ball out. So he had a lot of challenges last year, but racked up some pass breakups, and he had a great fall camp and looking to do it on that side. And right opposite of him, a player that people are going to come to know is Devon Martin, transfer from Murray State. He'll kind of be playing that opposite corner. Very similar player to Jermaine in that way, and I look forward to seeing both of those guys on the outside.
Jermaine Ray is going to be that guy where when quarterbacks come to the line of scrimmage and they're behind the center or wherever they are, they're looking. I mean, they want to see where number 3 is. They want to see what side of the field he's on. And it's smart for a quarterback to do that, to pay attention to where he is because, you said it, he can be a lockdown type of corner. He can shut down teams' top receivers.
UNA had the second best pass defense last year, giving up just 216.6 passing yards per game, which is absolutely spectacular. And then kind of a step further than that, against Maverick McIver. I was thinking Top Gun Maverick for just 1 second. That's just when you say Maverick, that's where you instantly
have to go there,
My first thought was talk to me, Goose.
Talk to me,
as
Goose.
soon as
I knew
said
it.
Maverick.
I knew it.
But for Maverick, he had his season low passing against UNA last year in that big win. Season low in UAC play. It was like 275 or something. Like he threw for over 300 yards against every team in the UAC except for UNA. And we were joking with some people at WKU and some of our coaches. Like he went to WKU because he wanted another shot at UNA. And,
That's right.
And we're just joking. He's a great quarterback. We're excited to see him tomorrow. But the pass defense last year was very stout, very, very good to watch. So that's kind of an offensive defensive preview. Kind of jumping into some specialists. Adam Watford, a freshman All-American punter. Sophomore year, numbers dipped a little, but it's still great. He has been booming punts out there on the practice field. I'm talking just sound, look, everything about it. It's been fun to watch, but he's been a weapon the last 2 years.
He absolutely has. Starting his freshman year, earning those All-American honors as a freshman, and we've seen punts that have ranged from 50 to 60 yards. Ben, our very first impression of Adam Watford was at a hotel in Montgomery. Yep. We walked up on him, and he was playing on the piano, the grand piano. And not only – he wasn't playing chopsticks. I mean, he was playing like Mozart, and he was playing all the good stuff. And you could tell he's a brilliant mind, a great punter. He's always practicing. I mean, even when there's lulls in practice, it seems like he's always out there working on his craft, getting that leg ready, and I think he's going to have a great junior year.
All right, Michael, we may have to tag in Jeff Hodges again on this, but we need to do some research. Think of the multi-year starters at punter that we have had. I mean, it pretty much went from Joe Gurley to Adam Watford, who's now in his 3rd year, have a chance to come back for a 4th year. Will Batson, 4-year guy. You can just roll back the years of having guys that punted. Michael Schuster, kind of when you were here, he punted and kicked, I think. But UNA, we talk about the long line of linebackers. There's been some really good punters over the years, and also some really good field goal kickers. And pretty cool story. Ian Vachon transferred in. We talked to him day one of camp. Some of the Huntsville media wanted to hear from him. Started his career at Birmingham Southern. We all know that story. The school shuts down. Walks on at Auburn. I didn't follow. We live in a UNA bubble. If it doesn't happen, if it doesn't happen at UNA, I don't know what's going on in the world. But he ended up kicking last year. I don't know if it was injuries or what, but he kicks a game winner against Texas A&M, knocks down 2 field goals in the Iron Bowl, and now here he is at North Alabama. And he told us that first day of camp, he said, I always dreamed of playing at UNA, a Madison Academy guy. I wanted to come to UNA out of high school, didn't work out. What a crazy path to get to UNA. But hopefully he kind of solidifies that kicking spot. I mean, guy, you kick 2 field goals in the Iron Bowl, you kick a walk-off against Texas A&M, you're probably ready for anything.
Yeah, Ian's a great kid, man, and he's always in Luke Roth's office, and they're working on things, and they're talking about – how to improve the kicking game and various things. And that's really good to see. You want to see that. And the success he had at Auburn, he's going to be known a little bit, especially for that game at A&M. I didn't watch it, but I remember I think it went to 2 overtimes, 43-41, had a field goal to make sure that Auburn was able to have a chance to win in that 2-point conversion situation. But if he doesn't make that field goal, now I think it was a 41-yarder career high, or 47. It was one of the two. It was a career high for him, and to make that at that moment was huge. And, even his early years at Birmingham Southern, he had more success in those late games at Auburn than he did his first year at the Division III level. So you can tell he's definitely getting better every year. And like you said, Ben, he's so familiar with UNA, just being from Madison Academy in the nearby area. So excited to see Ian and the kickers that are also with him, Chandler Dixon, Tyler Wallace, guys that are true freshmen, but, could definitely help him and compete.
You can go to roarlions.com and kind of see a great breakdown that Mike did in his game preview, breaking down North Alabama. So Western Kentucky, tomorrow's opponent. A couple of notes just on the Hilltoppers. And, you know about Western Kentucky. Again, we don't play at the FBS level. We live in the UNA bubble. Mike and I spend a lot of time following FCS football. I don't know, I'm a top 25 voter.
I knew it. I knew it was coming.
So
Big league.
Puff that chest out.
We try to follow it, but this is a Western Kentucky team, one of just 11 teams in the country, one of 3 G5 programs that has played in a bowl game or college football playoff game in each of the last 6 seasons. It's a very highly decorated program with very good run of success right now.
Yeah, Tyson Helton has done a fantastic job with this program, and even before he got here. It's a team, like you said. I mean, they go to bowl games. Enough said right there. And, they're in the Conference USA talk, in the last few years. And so, it's a team that has some horses. I mean, they're a good football program. And you'll see that tomorrow. We'll see, their best. We've already seen them one game this year. And we'll see their very best. I expect nothing less tomorrow.
Yeah, and of course, we're familiar with Maverick McIver, their quarterback, who was at ACU last year. He's got a lot of weapons around him, too. This is a very talented Western Kentucky team. I got to watch them a little bit against Sam Houston last week, and they kind of took over in the fourth quarter there. They're a good program. They've been good a long time, and they're good across the board. I mean, a lot of people knew their basketball program from some March Madness moments they had in the mid-2000s. Their volleyball program's actually probably one of the better group of fives in the entire nation. So a good athletic department across the board, and football's one of the flagship sports for them.
And a fascinating case study in kind of college football today, UNA at the FCS level, group of 5 for Western Kentucky. And a couple things, 77 players from the state of Alabama for UNA. I thought this was interesting. Western Kentucky, 10 players from the state of Kentucky.
Wow.
And you hear that, and then you look at the fact that they have 61 new players on the roster this year.
Wow.
47 transfers, including 14 true freshmen. I'm not done. There's more. Starting quarterback, FCS All-American from a season ago. Top wide receiver last week. FCS, I don't know if he's All-American, but he's all-conference out of the OVC Big South Alliance, whatever they're calling that. But he's another FCS guy. Leading rusher last weekend, true freshman. So they're doing it all with kind of new faces, but it is a retooled group through the transfer portal, and they've done it every year, and they've had a lot of success.
Yeah, and I think it shows not only what they're able to attract, but the high level of FCS football for them to have those guys, and now they're starring at the group of 5 level. Maverick McIver was a guy we literally competed with last year, and we won that game. I mean, you saw that and how great he was, and it just shows the level of talent that is at this level, too, on our side of the ball. But, yes, like you said, very, very talented, and they're doing it with a lot of people. I think it says a lot about what Coach Tyson Hilton's done.
We'll wrap up here in just a second, but a couple of crazy notes. Mike and I are research nerds. UNA Western Kentucky connections. Broderick Martin played defensive line at North Alabama 2017 to 2020, wrapped up his career at Western Kentucky, drafted by the Detroit Lions. I was told he was cut today and actually picked up by the Kansas City Chiefs. So
Wow.
How about that? You go from the Lions, where it's been booming up there in Detroit, to a perennial Super Bowl team, right? So good for Broderick. LT Sanders, Western Kentucky for 3 seasons. Now here he is. We'll see him a lot featured in the ground attack for North Alabama. Luke Roth, 1 season at Western Kentucky as a special teams quality control assistant. We've mentioned Maverick McIver, Rick Bowie, offensive coordinator and quarterback. We saw them at Abilene Christian the last 2 years. Now they are together here at Western Kentucky. How about another running back for Western Kentucky, Lavelle Wright, who we saw at Alston P.
Yeah.
He left Kentucky, went to Alston P. He had 14 carries, 61 yards against UNA a season ago. This guy is out tomorrow. Maha Ali. He played with Gregory Reddick, UNA's top tackler last year, at St. Francis 3 years ago. It's such a small football world. Now he's here at Western Kentucky. This is a really deep cut. Elon Jones, I think he's a defensive lineman, transferred in from Division II, Johnson C. Smith University, a Division II school I didn't know much about prior to India Howard transferring to North Alabama to play women's basketball. So those college names kind of stick with you for a while. And my personal favorite, all right, you ready for this, Brian?
Let's go. Let's hear it.
They have a tight end named Jackson West, okay? And he is a local product, Huntsville High grad from the Huntsville area, Brian Neese's backyard. Played at Florida State prior to coming to UNA. And he was on the field when North Alabama played Florida State in 2023.
Wow.
And, of course, we all know how that game played out. North Alabama kind of wrecked college football that evening, kind of thrashed the playoff hopes of Florida State. And now here he is seeing that pesky North Alabama team on his schedule yet again. Those are the things Mike and I do in the office when we find spare time. Kind of as you research players, things kind of stick with you. But I thought it was just shows how small this world is. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 little quick connections right there just between North Alabama and Western Kentucky. And I got a story I'll tell tomorrow on the pregame show about a Florence, Alabama native who built a clock tower on the campus of Western Kentucky. I'm not going to bore you with that right now, but we got some deep cut stuff. Tune into the Bank Independent Countdown to Kickoff show. You're not getting this kind of coverage on any other pregame show. You probably
That's
are.
Right.
There's a lot of great broadcasters out there, so I'm just excited the season starts tomorrow, fellas.
I am too. I've been looking forward to it since the last whistle of last year, and it's back. And I was thinking while the two coaches were talking, it's kind of like Christmas Eve to me. It's kind of like Christmas Eve to me. You're going to get up in the morning, and tomorrow's going to take forever to get to kick off tomorrow night. But you kind of get to unwrap everything and see what's there tomorrow. So I'm excited about it.
Brian and I, we talked about Coach Caraboa's tradition. Our tradition on 6 o'clock kicks on the road is we wake up, we eat breakfast with the team, and then it's college game day.
Yeah.
And then we'll flip around, and one of us will have the remote, one of us will fall asleep.
I was wondering if the nap was
Which
coming
is
in
which?
there.
It just varies. One of us will change the channel. The other will wake up. Then we just flip-flop napping and watch it in football.
It's the way it works. He's not kidding.
and
Sounds
then-
like a good life.
the way it works.
And then doing a little bit of research in between, like, I need to look up this. The things that we stress about as broadcasters that we shouldn't, like, who's their backup right guard? I need to make sure I've got his name down. What if he comes in? So
Yeah,
that happened
that
to
is
me.
true.
Tarleton came to Florence the first time 3 years ago, and I don't know if Gabalis was the starter yet. Maybe he was. And I asked the radio guy for them. I said, "Hey, take me through your backup quarterback's name." He had a Samoan name, and those names are tough. You got to hit every syllable. And he goes, "Oh, you won't see him." And I said, "No. Your starter's going to get knocked out for one play, and he's going to have to come in, and I'm going to have to say his name." And he goes, "All right, fine." It's went through it, hit all the syllables. I said, "Okay, thank you." Their opening drive, if it was Victor Gabalis, he got knocked out, and the backup came in. And I told Brian that story, and I'm tapping him up in the booth. I'm like, "It happened. It happened." So
Every time.
It does happen. Yes, sir, it does.
that's the kind of stuff that we do. So I'm thrilled, fellas. I cannot wait for tomorrow.
I'm ready for it.
Yeah, and like you said, I think the best part is we do a lot of our prep work early. I mean, these are done usually Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. After that, it's just kind of like website content. But Saturdays, everything's done. It's just kind of that Christmas Day waiting on it to get there. And it's all exciting. Game day is also going to be one of my traditions as well. Talk to my family, and let's have a great day of football.
My old football coach, Lewis Thompson, he said, we were talking on Fridays and Thursday afternoons, the hay's in the barn. I mean, it's time. It's here. We've done everything. At this point, if you're not ready, I mean, why not? So it's here. We're ready to go. Let's play.
You know, tomorrow is my wife's birthday. Happy
Really?
birthday, Chelsea. And this will be the first football season where I've had a game on her birthday or I've been on the road. So happy birthday, Chelsea. They're not watching. She's got the kids in the bed. Let's just so I'll give them a call tomorrow as well. And Brian, you've made you've made the Christmas reference. Where
Yes.
You're eager to open the presents, and tomorrow we'll eat pregame meal with they call it the advanced cruise. So I think we eat that at 1:30, and then the nerves will hit me and I'll probably drive all of you guys crazy. Hey guys, let's go! Come on, we got to get to the stadium.
Yeah.
Come on, we need to go. And this year I've got more people to help me set up because we've got to do a lot more. So that stress level's probably going to be a little higher for me. Hey, come on guys, 12:30.
We may be at the stadium at 10:30 tomorrow for a 6 kick.
We may be watching game day from Houchins Smith Stadium tomorrow, but it's going to be a fun day. Our coverage starts at 5 o'clock with the Bank Independent Countdown to Kickoff show. You can catch us on the Varsity Network app. Super easy to download, Apple, whatever you Android people do out there. You can download it on the Android. I think Google Play Store.
Play,
Thank you. We were going to get there. We'll have a booth cam available on all of our social streams, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Brian's Twitch. Mike will have you covered on social as well with great social updates. He always does a phenomenal job. And, of course, RoarLines.com will be your hub. Oh, wait, there's more. You can listen to the game on RoarLines.com as well. So
You and I have always talked about in the booth, and this is if you watch the booth cam tomorrow, which I encourage you to do. I sometimes am rough on Ben in the booth. He will have some bruises on his shoulder. I beat him in that booth, and it's
all-time favorite moment. Brian and I talk about this as our favorite UNA football moment together, but the game winner against Southern Utah back in 2018. Dexter Boykin goes up, grabs that touchdown catch. UNA wins, right? And you can go back and listen, and the call's probably on YouTube somewhere, and you can hear Brian smacking my back.
Oh,
as the call, and I don't
true.
feel it. I don't know it. And afterwards, Brian's like, "Hey, I'm sorry. I think I whacked the mess out of you."
Waylaid him.
And I was like, "Yeah, you probably did." And then there's been other. Brian and I, we hit each other all the time during big plays, or Brian will point something out and it'll happen, and I'll start shoving him on the side. So there's some other booth cams out there where they just kind of sit there and they're boring. What I'm worried about,
not us.
What I'm worried about, Brian, is we're both this way. That we sit down, then we stand up. We sit down, then we stand up, and we pace, and we move around a lot. We don't just sit there.
Yeah.
And we do just about we've been in some small press boxes where we have to do the dances around each other.
Yeah.
And I hope people get to see that this season as well. But it's a new venture for us. We hope you'll follow along this season. We want to take you inside UNA football. We'll do this on Friday nights. Mike's always got great stuff in the game notes. That's where 98% of this comes from. We enjoy chatting with the coaches. Great bunch. And appreciate Braden and Grant, the hard work behind the scenes. And fellas, tomorrow, another year of UNA football kicks off.
I'm ready. I'm ready to do it. I'm ready.
Hey, and huge congratulations are in order to you two guys because, Ben, you have the stat. Longest tenured booth together, tied for second.
This is our 9th year together. Tying us with Jerry Knight and Bill Hunt is the longest tenured booth. And, of course, they called the national championship days. Bill Hunt, his granddaughter Megan Dye, works in the department. Brian is the longest tenured analyst in UNA broadcast history. So he's our broadcast Iron Man, and he's broadcast royalty.
Like I said earlier, it just means I'm old. That's all that means.
All righty, so thank you all very much for tuning in. Again, 5 o'clock tomorrow on the streams. You can catch the call. We'll kick it off. My guess is it's a 6:02 kick. It's an ESPN Plus game, so we'll kick it off at 02. Brian and I will have you covered. Grant Wakefield will join us on the Seinfeld. I've been watching a lot of Seinfeld. It's late. Grant Wakefield will join us on the sidelines. And then, of course, we'll have Braden up there producing with us. Yeah. So, Mike, good luck tomorrow. Brian, my friend, good luck tomorrow. And Roar Lines to everybody. We're off and running. 2025 football season is here. Thanks for tuning in.